Okie dokie, chronic illness tag. I've probably done this before, but I'm doing it anyways. What have you been diagnosed with? Fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, heart failure, arthritis, schizoaffective disorder, depression anxiety disorder, and diverticulitis. Lots of stuff. It's more wrong than right. What do you tend to do at night when you can't sleep? I sit here in the dark and I listen to music with my headphones on. I like music. It's relaxing. Most or worst effect slash worst experience slash side effect of a medication you've taken. I was almost killed by a medication one time. If I wasn't at my mother's place, I'd be dead now. If I took it at home, I'd literally be dead. That would have been it. I didn't have time to go help me or anything. I just couldn't breathe, and I remember not being able to breathe, and I remember blacking out. Then I remember waking up in the hospital. So, that would have been it. As well, for the schizoaffective disorder, they gave me a Seroquel. They gave me Seroquel, and it almost killed me as well. It caused me a lot of harm. In fact, I spent 2 weeks in the hospital getting over that. It not only made my mental illness much worse, and the doctor kept giving me more, and it was just getting worse, and then she kept giving me more. But it caused me physical damage. It could have been actually why I have a bad heart now. So, yeah. But one of the medications I'm taking at this very moment, which is called Risperidone, makes me hungry 24 hours a day. If I'm awake, I'm hungry. It doesn't matter if I've literally eaten until I'm sick, I still feel hungry. There is no end to it. Actually, there is. I guess slight reprieves that last for a couple of hours where I'm not hungry, but they're few and far between. How has your condition impacted your mental health? Well, obviously the mental health one is, the two mental health ones, that is, have impacted my mental health. I don't get all that depressed anymore. I used to get deeply depressed, but the medication they give me for that has pretty much fixed that. So I just get a minor depression out of life instead of that deep, dark hole that I didn't even want to get out of bed with, type thing. The schizoaffective disorder, of course, is a constant thing, which is well maintained with the medication as well. But as for the effect of being in pain literally 24 hours a day for the rest of my life, it's a depressing thing. It's very isolating as well because you can't go do things. You can't just go for a walk when you want to because you might be so bad off with the fibromyalgia that day that you can't walk, or the arthritis that you can't walk. And there are periods of several weeks at a time where I can barely take care of myself because of them. Not so much the fibromyalgia. The flare of that usually lasts no more than 2 days, but an arthritis flare can last a month, 2 months. I'm on the tail end of one right now for the arthritis, and it's very depressing to say the least. Yeah. The thought of the future of not being able to take care of myself at all is just, I've seen what it's like to live in a care home. I've had loved ones in the care home that I visited. My mother spent the last part of her life in one, and I visited every day. And to be honest, I'd seriously rather be dead than in a care home. I don't care if I had my wits about me. I don't care about any of that. I would rather be dead than in a care home. It's just that. Describe your social life. I really don't have much of a social life. At best, I go out once a week to be with my friends, basically. Before COVID struck and we all had to stay inside and not talk to each other, we used to play cards and stuff downstairs and gather downstairs in the lobby area there where there's some tables and chairs and generally socialize, but can't do that anymore. We're not allowed to. So it's just that once a week gathering now. So it's pretty much there is no social life. I don't go out anymore. I don't go to movies. I don't go to restaurants very often. It's just barely there for social life. What is the hardest thing to do when your illness is in a flare? For fibro, pretty much everything. For arthritis, pretty much everything. Cooking, cleaning. In fact, I'm getting a cleaner in next month because it's GST month. That's extra money month for me. I'm getting a cleaner in to clean the place up nice and good because I just can't do it myself anymore. I'm not able to. Even on a good day, I can't get on my knees anymore to scrub by the toilet and stuff. I just can't do it. So yeah, I can't have a bath anymore because I can't get up from sitting in the bathtub. It's just too hard for me to do. I would have a 50% chance of having to call for help to get out of the bathtub if I did that. So, walking, even with an arthritis flare and a fibromyalgia flare, even walking to the bathroom is a hard thing. You have to force yourself to do it. It's just that simple. Because you need to. There's nobody else going to help you. There's no help at all. So, for all my ailments, that is, the ability to concentrate is impaired in a flare. The pain causes you not to be able to concentrate as well. The chronic fatigue syndrome gives you what's called brain fog, and that's really hard to think while you're having a brain fog. When you're depressed, you're pretty much screwed. When you're having a very serious panic attack or anxiety attack, you're pretty much screwed for thinking. So do you have any worries for the future? Oh, Jesus, yes, I do. Like I said, I would rather be dead than in a care home. And that's pretty much my future, isn't it? So, it's just a big nope for me. I just don't want that to happen. Favorite comfort food: ketchup flavored potato chips. Yepers. To you people in the UK, those would be crisps, ketchup flavored crisps. Lessons I've learned from being sick: how to be patient. I've had to be. I can't just go and do things myself. I can't just hop in the car and go because I don't have a car, for one thing. I'm too poor to own a car. And if I did own a car, it would be dangerous for me to drive it sometimes. So, it would be a selective days when I could actually drive the car, and when there would be a few days a month where I just couldn't do it. So I've had to rely on people heavily for a lot of things. I have to rely on people to deliver my groceries because I can't go shopping. I have to rely on people to take me to appointments because I can't afford cabs. One trip to the heart doctor and back is just about $40 right there to get there and back. It's about $35 round trip. So I can't afford that. I just can't. So I need to rely on other people to drive me. So it's hard. It's hard. So you learn patience because you're on other people's time, basically. 3 things I miss that that have been taken away from me due to health problems. Being able to work at a job and being able to ride a bike, you have no idea how much I miss both of those. And physical stamina, the ability to stand up all day, and the ability to do things all day. I can't even sit at the computer all day or sit in this chair all day. I have to change positions after about half an hour. So I can't even get through a movie without pausing it every now and then and getting up and moving around. So, there's it's very much affected me. How old were you How old were you when you first noticed your symptoms? I was in my 30s when I realized I was depressed and had anxiety to a great extent. Um, as well as about the same time for the fibro, but it took me a long time to be diagnosed. I mean, a really long time to be diagnosed with fibromyalgia. It took years for that. For the other mental illness, I was in my 40s, which is when I went nuts. I had always had it. As far back as I can remember, it had been affecting my version of reality. But I went off the deep end in my 40s, and I had to be hospitalized several times before they got me stabilized on meds. And which is actually kind of rare because people with schizoaffective disorder, schizophrenia, and bipolar, it usually happens in their teenage years, not in your 40s when you have what's called a breakout. So, yeah. It took me about 3 years to be diagnosed properly for the schizoaffective disorder, by the way. Arthritis was in my 40s as well when that started to be an issue for me on a grand scale. And I noticed the heart failure when I was 49. I had had an EKG done in the ER. I was in the ER for something, and they did an EKG on me, and they sent it to my doctor, and my doctor says, "You've had a heart attack." And I'm like, when? Because I have no memory of ever having one. So, but I was 49 when they sent me to a specialist, and I was diagnosed with heart failure, which is well managed by a drug called, what is it? Shit called Entresto. Entresto, it's there's two drugs in one pill. And it's really phenomenal. It has literally saved me from dying. So, I would literally be dead now if it wasn't for the Entresto. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all. You have a fabulous time and keep smiling.